Morning, everybody. It's Bob, the Green Man, from Chateau in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. And if you are in the valley, it's a beautiful time of year. This is actually spring, if you will. Everything came out of summer alive and well, and is now absolutely exploding with new growth. Take a look at this Early Grande peach. So this is growth from March, spring, and then this is all new growth since. And this has really put on a lot of growth lately as the overnight temperatures cool down. We're still in the mid 80s, low 90s. And with that heat comes our second crop of tropical pink guavas. Now there's not as many on here, but I mean this one's got one. Looks like we got a guava forming right there. I mean, you can look around and try and find some, but here's some more back here. Wait, nope, that's just a new branch. I also have a big old moringa right here that is kind of dropping its flowers. But yeah, everything is growing really nicely. Everything is lush, green. And today I wanted to do a video on a deciduous tree, and that is this guy right here, the jujube. Now this is a Chinese version, so it loses all of its leaves, and it has some pretty wicked thorns. Let's see if I can find some here. There we are. That's a gnarly thorn. Excuse my tape here. I didn't prune this tree last year. I did, but I didn't. If we take a look real quick, here's our trunk. And then we split off here, and then it splits off into another there, and then a fourth kind of like shoot there. So we kind of got a little top heavy, and that's okay. We just had to tie it back. So this year I'm actually going to prune right here. Then we'll prune this off right there, and then we're going to keep these two, I think, because this is the original. It's the original trunk. I might cut that off because it's not really doing much, and we'll just keep this one. That remains to be seen. Now this tree is a very cold hardy tree, and it's also a very heat and sun hardy tree in Arizona. Okay, you get full sun, all day sun, blistering sun. It loves it. In fact, it needs it to produce our fruit here. Let's see if I can get my hand up there, kind of. There we go. That's almost ripe. Now, what's happening here is, here, let me get up on the ladder. So we got some fully ripe ones up on top here. So we've got a set of fruit here that is ripening. And you see some of them are losing water, and that's because the birds are chewing on them. Birds love these things. So this brown area that is where the sun is hitting the fruit and ripening it up. So we've got one right here that is fully ripe. I'm gonna get up there and pick that, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so here we have a fully ripe jujube. Now these have a very nice taste, almost I'd say caramel-esque, but it's crispy, kind of like an apple, and they're very juicy. Now you can eat them like this, right off the tree, or you can put them on your counter for about, I don't know, 5 to 8 days or so, and they will soften. And when they soften, that's when they taste the best. They almost turn into like a cotton candy kind of. By letting them stay on the tree, if you can, until this is when they are the most ripe, i.e. have the most sugar content for drying them. And that's why they call them Chinese dates, because if you let them dry out, it's basically as soft as a date, and a little squishy kind of like that too. You can certainly eat them when they get like this. You know, they're still really good. This side might have not much flavor, but the other side is going to be very, very good. Let's talk about feeding. What do we do to feed this tree? This tree grows so fast that I don't feed it at all. Any food that it gets is from the soil. Okay. You can fertilize it if you like. I'll throw down a handful of soil sulfur 3 times a year to keep the pH between 6 and 7. It does not mind a high pH, but I just have a habit of keeping everything in my yard between 6 and 7. Watering. This thing needs water. Now, if you don't water, let me see if I can find. These are from the summer. If you don't water enough, they will wrinkle up like this, and you won't get, good fruit. So you got to give it water. So in the summer when it's hot, I usually do once a week, except when we're in our extreme heat waves, like, over 110, then I'll give it twice a week. These things are very drought tolerant, but you're going to lose your fruit, as you can see. Now here in the valley, you will get 2 crops. Like I said, you'll get a spring crop that you'll harvest like maybe June, July, and then you'll get this fall crop that you'll harvest late October into November. And jujubes grow on new growth, so everything you see here, actually you can tell the older growth from the newer growth once we hit our monsoons. So let's take a look here. This is older growth, kind of gray, and then you see our newer growth. It turns this this dark brown, but it starts out as this green, and the flowers form all along the leaf nodes here, and they're pollinated by ants and other bugs and flying critters. Ants also love these fruits, as do birds. You can see a bird was checking to see if it was ripe there. But like I said, yes, the birds love them, but I leave fruit on the tree that's been nipped at so that the birds will finish this off, and I'll be picking this. Actually, you know what? We're gonna pick that one right now. It's close enough. So yeah, it's got a little light green on there, but that's okay. This is gonna be a good fruit, and I'll bite into it, show you what it looks like on the inside. So, crispy like an apple. I don't know if I can get in the sun there a little bit. You can kind of see how juicy it is. Nice tough skin. It has kind of like a light caramel flavor. But these are very good for you. There is a seed down in there that you can plant. And actually, the best way to propagate these are graft them, or you can take a hardwood cutting, like this guy right here. You can take that, cut it, put a little, scrape a little bark back, put a little root hormone on there, stick it in some dirt, and it will eventually turn into a tree like this. So best time to prune this is when it loses all of its leaves. So you can see what you're doing. Now you do have to be careful. Like I said, this has thorns on it. There's a little thorn right there. I would recommend wearing long sleeves and gloves and even pants to, if you got a big tree. These fallen leaves make great fertilizer for the tree. As they break down, they will feed the critters in the soil. Something that I saw online about jujube is a two-cut method. So if you cut once, let's find a branch here. So say I want this branch to stop growing right here. Well, I'll cut it because there's a terminal bud right here. So if I want that to stop growing, I'll cut right there, and it will not ever grow again from here, anywhere. But if I want it to continue to grow, I can come down here where it branches out right at this point, and I can cut this, and this branch will then continue to grow that way. It'll grow this way as well, but it'll stop growing up. It's kind of hard to understand at first, because the first year I pruned this, I was like, okay, well, I want this to keep growing, so I would make two cuts, and it did stunt it. I mean, this thing took off. This is what it looked like when I planted it. It was just a little guy, and in fact, here's a little caveat. I did a video last week of another jujube, and let's head that way. We're actually on water day, so I gotta check our water over here. I did a video last week of another jujube that we have, and I was moving it because I'm going to put an avocado in its spot, because I want the avocado that we have there closer to the other avocado. Good morning, everybody. It's Bob, the Green Man from Chateau in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. We're gonna do a little tutorial video today. I'm going to remove this jujube. We're gonna actually transplant it. It's gonna go from here back in the corner by the Barbados cherry and the ice cream bin. So we're gonna dig it out. This has only been in the ground for about 6 months. It really did not grow here. I kind of neglected it a bit, but we're gonna put a Russell avocado right here, which is a type A, and we have the Marcus pumpkin, which is a type B. So I think those two will cross-pollinate and do a really nice job for us in the coming years. So hang around, and we'll get this guy out of the ground and maybe learn a thing or two. We'll be right back. Yeah, I did that video, and then I had everything set up on a tripod, and I took the tree out of the ground, and it was doing great. I bring it over here behind the ice cream bean by the Barbados cherry to its new home, and nothing recorded. I guess I had the remote in my pocket, and it must have stopped. But this tree's looking good. We did lose a little bit of leaves, but I wasn't too worried about that. This is a deciduous tree, like I said, so it's gonna lose all its leaves. We are focusing on root growth for the rest of the year, and in the spring this thing should come back with a vengeance. Now this is what the original tree that I was talking about earlier looked like, as you saw. Just a little spindly thing, and its first summer it really took off. Well, its second summer, because I planted it in May. Its second summer it really took off. Let's head back over to the original. Now there are different varieties, and both these varieties that I have are Lee, L-I. There is a Lang, which is kind of the fruit's a little bit bigger. They look like teardrops. They're not as good as the Lee variety. So and I mean, I got this one tree gives us plenty of fruit a year, that you don't need a second variety unless you're, you know, that big into jujubes, because the second variety will actually give you cross-pollination, kind of like with everything. You'll get more fruit. And if you see here, my passion fruit vine has kind of taken over this portion of the jujube. And that was kind of by design. I knew this was going to come out. This branch actually right here, if you notice, it's different color. This is the branch that grew this spring. And I mean, I had to prune this off. I couldn't even walk through here because this whole area was like way over here, and it was a rough go for a little bit, but I took it off. You know, we didn't get too many leaves in the pool. So I think that is about it for today's video. Chinese date, Lee jujube. It does great in Arizona, and I'll tell you, the Phoenix area. Somebody's cooking bacon. It smells good. It is, I would rank it right up there with as bulletproof as this guy right here, pomegranate. You know, it's forgiving. Even if you don't want the fruit, this thing will grow very well, and it'd be a nice shade tree. I mean, this will grow big. This has been in the ground for 3.5 years. This is a 3.5-year tree in the ground. Now, it could be taller if I would have pruned some of the other stuff out of the way, and I'm not going to let it get too tall. I mean, all the trees I want are about that tall. That orange over there, that is about a 12-foot tall tree. That's as tall as I really want them. I want to be able to use this 6-foot ladder to grab fruit. I'm 6 foot, so 6 plus 6 is 12. I don't want to have to, you know, be up in like that mesquite right there, you know, 20 feet in the air grabbing fruit. That's a little bit too risque. Unless I get a cherry picker. If I get a cherry picker, all these trees can grow as tall as they want. And we'll use the cherry picker to pick the trees. But yeah, if you have a question or comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. And hope you guys have a great day. Actually, I just saw a hummingbird up there snacking on a moringa. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next week.